Hello, everyone. Hello. Duran here, and I want to discuss all about imposter syndrome, what it is, and what you can do to get rid of imposter syndrome. That way, if it ever does creep back up into your life, you know exactly what to do to get rid of it completely. Now, first thing is first, what is imposter syndrome? This is a term that I became familiar with, I would say about a year, 2 years ago. And when I would hear that term, I really didn't have an idea about what it truly meant. And I came across it first with one of my coaches. And with one of my coaches, I was discussing what was going on in my life. And she just told me flat out, you have imposter syndrome. And I really didn't even question her about what it was. And because I really didn't think much of it. And it wasn't until I started to dive deeper into it, and I had one of my other coaches that brought up, telling me that I had imposter syndrome, that I started to consider that this is something I probably should look into. So what I actually went ahead and did is I tried to get an idea of what imposter syndrome was. And the best way to define imposter syndrome is when you doubt yourself. And this is something that quite a bit of us do. We doubt ourselves. We doubt our abilities. We doubt our talents, our skills. We don't believe that we're competent as much as others perceive us to be. And what I mean is people see more in us than we see in ourselves. And when we have imposter syndrome, what tends to happen is we create a low self-esteem for ourselves. We doubt ourselves continually, day in, day out, with everything that we do, to a point where we don't feel like we are successful at all. And this is because we just believe that we're not competent. And my definition of competency is when you have your abilities and skills and knowledge are helping you to be successful. And there's a lot of ways you can be types of having imposter syndrome. One way is what I really started to acknowledge a lot about myself is through perfectionism. And with a lot of my coaching clients, we discuss perfectionism and how impactful, not in a good way, how impactful it could be in their life. And perfectionism is when you're trying to get everything right before you actually publish it, you produce it, you put it out there into the world. It's really like only you have your eyes on it. And it tends to come from you having high expectations. And this is usually a result of how you are brought up in your childhood. Maybe your mom, your dad had high expectations for you, and you started to bring that into your adult life. So whenever you come across an idea of something that you want to accomplish, whether it be writing a book, producing a song, speaking, you always find yourself sabotaging yourself because of the fear of not having it completely 100% accurate, 100% right in your mind. When really the best way to get over that is to just understand that it's not going to ever be perfect. Just produce what you have and do it to the best of your ability. Because if you can do so, you'll be amazed at how just you pushing out there into the world something that you know is not perfect, because you understand that perfection is something that you can't really strive for, is going to create such lasting benefit, because that small amount of information that you put out there could lead to the biggest impact in someone's life. And when you can really overcome perfectionism, you'll see how it opens up more doorways and opportunities for you to help you live really the life that you want to live. Another type is going to be that expert mentality, where very similar to perfectionism, and it's where you want everything to be completely, you have to know everything about a particular subject in order for you to talk about it. And just as I'm talking about imposter syndrome, to make sure that I hit notes, I started coming into that expert type mentality just making sure I'm hitting notes before I get it on the slide. But then once again, I brought myself into the present moment and realized that I can only teach what I know. And that's one thing I teach to all my clients. And even for you, just teach what you know about. And you're not going to know every single thing about a topic that you cover and you talk about. Even when you are in school, your teachers, your professors that you are studying under are not going to know everything about a particular subject, which is why they're constantly studying, because they know that they have a lot more room to grow and there's always something more that they can learn about, which can definitely help perpetuate them in their life, in their profession, and in their career. Another type, which is pretty common too, is going to be the yeah, you're right, Michelle. We can only strive for excellence, not perfection. I agree with that 100%. And that's one thing too, Michelle, is it's one of those things where we all really know that we can strive for excellence and not perfection. However, we may have this core belief that we have to be perfect. And our adult life and our adult mind, our conscious mind may know, like, yeah, we cannot be perfect. However, we may have this inner child mentality mindset where we're brought up where we have to be perfect. And it comes through our upbringing, what we experienced in our childhood, and what we experience now in our life is a result of what we experienced when we were younger. And this is why doing that work, whether you work with, what's up, Kwame? If you do work with a therapist or a coach, can really be very, very insightful to help you understand that you may have those mentality of not being enough, and you bring that into your adult life, which could create the scenarios and experiences that you have going on right now. So going back to one of the types of imposter syndrome, you could be the natural imposter syndrome type, which is where you believe that everything should come easy to you, it should come natural to you, and it should not be a challenge for you. And if something is not easy and it is challenging to you, you're not going to do it because you believe it should be very, very easy for you to do. However, to be completely upfront, everything that we experience is something that we learn. And if it's something that's new to us, it's going to be challenging and it's going to be difficult. And what makes it easier is us practicing it over and over and over again and refining our skills. This is why using LeBron James and Steph Curry as an example, they work on their basics in the off seasons, which they do know how to dribble, they know how to pass, they know how to shoot. However, they know they can always improve upon it and get better, which is why as they do so, they can always get better and better and better with their skills. And it's the same with us, where if we really want something, we have to understand that there's going to be some struggle in the beginning. And if we focus on our persistence with it, then we can start to see how it can lead to us being able to reap the benefits and the rewards that we truly want from it. And this is why when we take away the natural genius mentality and just understand that we all start from somewhere, we can start to open up ourselves to just more possibilities that we possibly can. And then there's one more I'll cover is going to be the soloist mentality. The soloist mentality is where you believe that everything that you should accomplish should only be done by you. No one else should be able to help you. You shouldn't ask for help. So for those of you out there who don't like asking for help because you think help is a weakness, this is something that's going to really resonate with you, because my belief system is asking for help is not a weakness, but asking for help is a sign of strength. Because if you can ask for help, it means you're open, willing, and able to learn from someone that may know more than you, just so you can get to an outcome that you're wanting to get to. So understand that each of us needs all of us. This is why it's always great to work in a team environment versus trying to work on things on your own. I could tell you that what's really benefited me a lot is working with coaches and therapists. And that was my way of looking at me asking for help, because I knew my belief is you only know what you know. And it's always great to get the input from someone that may know more about a particular subject than you. And as you do so, then once again, you're starting to build up more information about certain thing. And then you can start to become that expert at that subject. And once again, expert not meaning you know every single thing about that subject. Expert being you just know enough to help people get through what they're going through. So that's really my take on imposter syndrome. Going back to what I said at the beginning of this video. One thing I want to do is address like ways that you can really break down the walls of imposter syndrome. Going back to what I was saying, imposter syndrome will cause self-doubt. It will self-sabotage you. It will stop you from the success that you want in your life. And some things that have helped me overcome imposter syndrome. And when I say overcome, it does creep up in my life sometimes, just like I said earlier today. I started taking notes, making sure that I hit every single subject about imposter syndrome. But by doing so, I realized that I'm going to spend my entire day just taking notes on the subject. Therefore, I just started talking about what I know about it and what has helped me teach other people about it. To help you overcome it is to write down your accomplishments. Because one of the key things about imposter syndrome is you don't believe that you're worthy. You don't believe that you have succeeded in your life. Therefore, just write down the things that you have accomplished and don't think too high on your expectation list. Because one thing I can tell you right now is one accomplishment that I could create for you is you have a phone, you have a computer, you're watching this right now. So you should definitely be grateful for that. That's an accomplishment. If you have your lights on at your house, your apartment, that's an accomplishment. If you're alive, if you're breathing, these are all accomplishments that we forget to take in consideration because we're so high in our expectations, thinking that our accomplishments have to be something that's very, very big. It has to be us purchasing our dream car, us purchasing our dream house, going on this lavish vacation, round trip type of ordeal. And those are accomplishments, yes. However, start to build the momentum up. Start small. Start thinking about the accomplishments of you waking up early, for you going to the gym, working out, you hiring a coach, you hiring a personal trainer, you reading a book. These are all accomplishments. Like, do not forget these because we overlook these so much. And then we get in this rut of thinking that we're not accomplishing anything at all in our life when we're accomplishing so much throughout the day. Therefore, I implore you, in your journal, get a notepad, start to write down at least 3 to 5 accomplishments that you have every single day. And you'll notice if you're doing it 3 to 5 a day, you can look at it after a week and 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a year, and have this huge platform of things to look at to understand that you are succeeding, you are worthy. And those moments where you feel like you're not doing enough, you have this list to go back to help you realize like you're doing more than you possibly can imagine that you are doing, and not to overlook it. Okay. So I'll open up to any questions. And if you have any questions, I'll have you come on screen and just do some coaching. Any questions? Cool. Awesome. Well, if there's no questions about imposter syndrome or about anything else in regards to coaching, then I'll go ahead and wrap up this video. I'm really grateful for those of you who got on live to learn something. All I ask you to do is to use this in your daily life, share this information with other people, because I'm sure that there are some people that are in need of some tips and advice, and I'm always open for you all sharing this video. So much love, peace, love, and energy to all of you. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful and successful day.